For his fourth term, Alassane Ouattara called back Relics to the presidential palace. After Amon Tanoh, it's Achi'S turn. There are human beings so pitiful that merely speaking about them is heart-wrenching. Jérôme Achi, former Prime Minister and now promoted to Minister of State and Special Advisor to Alassane Ouattara, is a sad example. This man, a fellow Addy like myself, brings shame not only to his village but to the entire Addy community. What can be said of a man who, for a handful of money, rushes to a garbage dump in the hopes of finding a bit of artificial glory? Achi is that man. And yet, God blessed him with everything, an education, a respectable career path, and countless opportunities. But today, he plays the servant for Alassane Ouattara. We, the Ati people, console ourselves by saying that he is of mixed race and that it's his white side, the legacy of the despicable colonizer, that takes over. Because this behavior of blind submission, this disregard for dignity, and this greed for money do not reflect the values of our people. Achi is the archetype of a figure willing to eat from any trough, incapable of refusing any favor, no matter how humiliating. A man with the slightest sense of dignity would have followed the example of Daniel Cablan Duncan, who declined indecent positions to preserve his honor. Even the young Abdourahmane Cissé, despite his age, showed more character than Achi. But no, Achi prefers to grovel for Alassane Ouattara, accepting a position that insults the memory of dignified Ivorians. This return of Achi to the presidential palace is a mistake he will regret for a long time. He is now a symbol of national shame. Ivorians must reserve for him the contempt he deserves. For by accepting this position, he not only betrays his people but also the very idea of a free and dignified Côte d'Ivoire. Nothing happens by chance. This return of Achi to the presidential palace, following that of Amon Tanoh, is glaring proof that Alassane Ouattara is preparing for his fourth term. This decision was made during a closed-door meeting at his residence on November 28, 2024. Skeptics can continue to bury their heads in the sand, but the facts speak for themselves. These successive appointments are nothing more than a political scaffolding to consolidate his power. The despot Ouattara spares no effort in surrounding himself with foul relics, ready to serve as his stepping stones. After resurrecting figures like Marcel Amon Tanoh, he now calls upon Achi. These men, once sidelined or forgotten, return like ghosts from the past to partake in a political masquerade. But they should know, Ivorians are not fooled. By accepting these positions, these men show only one thing: they believe neither in Côte d'Ivoire nor in its values. Their sole allegiance is to money and power. But their submission to Ouattara will not save them from history, which will remember their disgrace. Achi, by accepting this role as Minister of State, proves that he has neither honor nor dignity. As for Alassane Ouattara, his obsession with a fourth term once again demonstrates his utter contempt for Ivorians. But the people have eyes to see and a memory to remember. And when Judgment Day comes, neither Achi nor Ouattara will be able to escape the verdict of the Ivorian people. An appeal to the youth of Côte d'Ivoire. Yes, here in Côte d'Ivoire, we are facing a man who has problems with the law. Here in Côte d'Ivoire, we are dealing with a man who has a problem with the law. We are dealing with a man who does not respect his word. We are dealing with an anarchist. We are dealing with a man for whom his word given is nothing. We are dealing with a man who says something at 7 a.m. and at 8 a.m. he says the opposite. Côte d'Ivoire must stand up. The youth of Côte d'Ivoire must stand up to stop this man's march. Côte d'Ivoire must stand up. Ivorians must stand up. The population must stand up. But particularly, the youth of Côte d'Ivoire must stand up to stop Dramane Ouattara's march. Dramane Ouattara has done enough. Dramane Ouattara has done enough. Promises that are never kept. Promises that are never kept. The word, which is never respected. A man who has a problem with the law, we no longer want him in Côte d'Ivoire. Yapi does not lie. Find Chris Yapi on his 2 YouTube channels, his Rumble channel, his TikTok, X, Instagram, VK and Threads accounts.